I just believe that the continent is the future. There are enough people. If you look at it like logistically, there are enough people on this continent. There's enough money on this continent. It's just that maybe infrastructure isn't the same as it is in Europe. But because of the media that we now have going on in our country, you know, the DSTVs and so forth, everyone is now exposed to everyone else's content, you see. In the 80s or the early 90s, you found that South African artists and Nigerian artists or whoever, there was so much collaboration going on in the 80s between African artists, the 70s. And then for some reason it stopped. Now you're seeing the regeneration of Nigerians and South Africans and Kenyans and South Africans, everyone working together on music and working together on events and working together on ventures together, even in business. You know, so I'm very much, my drive is very much centered around the Renaissance, you know, African Renaissance, how, you know, Thabo put it, and the regeneration of our continent through, you know, working together. And I love touring the continent because, you know, if you think I'm AKA here in South Africa, you may see what they like, treat me like in like Zambia or like in Kenya or like Nigeria. And that's the stuff that I wish I got in my own country. But I don't get that in my own country. But it's fine because, you know, my country is my own country, it's fine. I also feel like I also need to expand my business and go into the continent and make money in the continent and in Europe because the rand is just too weak. I don't feel like I'm going to be super wealthy if I just stay here in South Africa. Positives and negatives, you know, with doing business on the continent. Let me start with the negatives. The negatives are we face things like conflicts and disease and stuff like that necessarily you won't find in like Europe. I was supposed to go to you know, West Africa much earlier than I already went last year. I've been twice now. The reason we couldn't go the first time is because there was an Ebola outbreak. So if you look at it like that, sometimes you have things like that you can't really plan for. Those types of things happen. You go to Kenya, was the first time I ever went to Kenya, and I'm staying in a hotel, and before I can come into the hotel, people have to check underneath the car if there's bombs underneath the car and stuff like that, you know? It's very different, but the positives are that, like I said, our media is informing each other of what's going on in the continent, in each other's countries more than ever before. Nigerian music is playing here, South African music is playing there, you know? So if you think about it, also the States and Europe, they also gravitating more towards a new story now. They want to hear a new story, they want a new flavor, you know? And Africa is just prime right now, and it's the best time to be an African musician or to be in business in Africa than it's ever been before. It's looking better than it's ever looked for us.